JP Nation, what it do? This your boy JP. Reaction videos. So this is Uncut Hoops. We are going to be looking at WNBA Players get destroyed by Caitlin Clark. Congratulations to her being the #1 overall pick, which is obviously like so obvious by the Indiana Fever. That's going to be incredible. Her and Aaliyah Boston together, and they're going to be rocking Indiana. And yeah, her like jerseys were sold out as soon as she got drafted. Go ahead and get into it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, comment down below, and tell me what you want me to react to next. Let's get into the video.
I am unwilling, and maybe it's more the Kobe mentorship around me, to say that she is great yet.
We saw a white girl in Iowa do it to a bunch of black girls.
Well, of course.
That made it like, oh, that gave my respect. That gave my respect.
I hear you. The way everybody sells her all the time, it almost feels like she's already stamped as one of the greatest to ever do it. Right? It feels like she's stamped that way.
I don't know.
She is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Does Caitlin Clark need a championship to be considered one of the greats in women's college basketball history?
Yeah, she does. I think so.
And energy behind Caitlin is going to be a game changer for a WNBA franchise. I think for that reason, right now, this year, you have to take her. From a basketball standpoint, I could make an argument for Paige.
I'm taking Paige. Next question.
Ah!
When it comes to basketball, late March, early April, the majority of viewers, what are you thinking about? Men's March Madness and the NBA playoffs. Now, this year, a tad bit different, as Caitlin Clark, by far, is the biggest story in sports.
Yes.
In terms of hype, anticipation, just general energy, the only thing comparable to this in my lifetime is Steph Curry in 2016. As both Steph and Caitlin, during those time periods, transcended their sport and brought numerous new fans to the game of basketball. And Caitlin Clark is so box office. The Indiana Fever, who's going to get drafted.
Damn!
Their opening game next season already had to expand the stadium from 12,000 fans to a whopping 20K.
20,000.
I mean, this girl hadn't stepped foot on a WNBA court and already going to be selling out stadiums with 20,000 fans.
Woof!
I mean, look at that LSU Iowa game. A whopping
12.3 million views?
Most ever for a women's basketball game. If you put those raw numbers versus the best finals games of the past 4 years, I mean, it's on par, if not better, than some of those series. I mean, look at 2020 Game 6, the most watched game of that series. 8.2 million viewers, 4 million less than Caitlin Clark versus LSU. 2021, virtually the exact same in the NBA Finals with Giannis. And just last year, 2023, Nicole Jokic, the best player in the world, the most watched game in that series, only got 13 million viewers. The phenomenon of Caitlin Clark cannot be downplayed, discredited, or tossed aside. Women's college basketball right now is the hottest thing in all of sports. Slander. I mean, it's coming from all angles. Retired players, current players, men, women, NBA, doesn't really matter. Caitlin Clark is getting from all angles, from everyone in the media. And looking at someone like Jay Williams, Brandon Stewart, saying Caitlin Clark without a championship isn't a great college player in the upper tier college players. I mean, absolute BS and a terrible take.
I am unwilling, and maybe it's more the Kobe mentorship around me, to say that she is great yet.
Does Caitlin Clark need a championship to be considered one of the greats in women's college basketball history?
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people I think a lot of like women's basketball players probably feeling some type of way because of all the attention Caitlin has been getting and stuff like that. So, there's some that actually, you know, when you listen to them, it's not coming off like negative that people think that they're coming off negative, but it's kind of understanding like Diana Taurasi was kind of getting like bash and stuff, you know, of her comments, but like all she said is just levels to it. You know, the pros is a lot different than college, you know, so who knows what Caitlin Clark, we know the expectation that Caitlin Clark's going to bring to the WNBA. Oh, she's going to be great, you know, for the Indiana Fever and stuff, but we don't really know that yet, you know, until she plays her first game, you know, like let her play the first game, let her, you know, get into the WNBA schedule and stuff. She was a great college basketball player. She really was, you know. I wouldn't say a championship needed the final. If she did get a championship, oh my God, that legacy, I mean, it's going to get up higher and higher and higher. But even without a championship, you see the numbers and you see what she did for Iowa. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. She's one of the greatest college basketball players ever, you know, in terms of women, like, ever. So.
You serious?
College sports, basketball, football, yes, championships are important. But to be an all-time great player, winning a title, not really necessary for college. If you want to talk pros, NBA, NFL, yes, championships are the gold standard and matter immensely more. I mean, look at someone like Larry Bird. At Indiana State, despite not winning a championship, 30 points per game, 13 boards, and 5 assists, Player of the Year, Gordon Award winner, and Naismith Player of the Year multiple times. The fact Larry Bird in college didn't win a championship doesn't diminish him at all.
No.
An all-time great player at that level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Akeem Olajuwon in college, an absolute beast. 17 points, 14 boards, nearly 6 blocks on 70% shooting.
Yeah.
Hakeem in college made back-to-back title games and lost both of them.
Yep.
And despite that, the Dream still highly regarded as the best college players of all time.
Facts.
And the best example of this is, of course,
Pistol Pete.
As in college for 3 years, every single year, averaged above 40 points per game.
It's crazy
now,
how
looking
much
at
he
his
averaged.
LSU team, at 500, barely above 500, and their best year, 120 games. Pistol Pete is widely recognized as a college legend.
Yes.
That is despite never winning a championship, making the finals of the NCAA tournament. And looking at Brianna Stewart, who of course at UConn, multi-time champion and great player. I mean, it's kind of the bar and expected. A player going to Iowa, still a D1 school in the Big Ten. It's not a UNC at Duke, an established program on that level. And the fact Clark at Iowa has made 2 championship games elevated them to heights they haven't seen in 30 years. That on its own is highly impressive and worthy of all-time great praise. I mean, look at someone like Steph Curry at Davidson. What he did in that tournament was unprecedented.
Crazy.
And of course, Steph in college, well, didn't win a championship, can't be a great player.
But put the world on notice.
Yes. Long story short, Caitlin Clark is an all-timer in college. Doesn't matter men or women. She's up there with the best of them. And like I said in my previous video, when it comes to former players, current players in the WNBA, already starting to see little signs of jealousy, resentment towards Caitlin Clark and the attention she gets. And let's be honest, if you're a WNBA player, an all-star, really good player, one of the top tier superstars, seeing a girl come in who's unproven with tons of hype, it might rub you the wrong way.
Yes.
If history is any guide, the WNBA always finds a way to screw things up. And the path this could go down, a lot of the players, the superstars, they won't embrace her and they resist the change of Clark in the face of their league. And while they do that, they have a jealousy of the spotlight for themselves. Now, best case scenario, Caitlin Clark comes in, is embraced, promoted, rightfully so, and performs to her level. That is the best case scenario, the WNBA. But I still have that little bit of doubt in the back of my mind. The players, the league, just won't embrace her the right way and won't market her to her potential. And looking at Iowa's last game versus UConn, of course, the controversial offensive foul, the illegal screen.
Crazy.
On ESPN, here's a reaction to that illegal screen in real time.
What an unfortunate time to call an offensive foul. What? I want to see a shot at least. Just know how to ruin the game. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible.
So, for some context, all three of those players, Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart, and Diana Taurasi, all UConn players. I mean, who do you think they were rooting for? Not Caitlin Clark.
UConn.
And having that call in that moment, does it suck to end like that? Yes, it does.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, a foul's a foul, and that right there is a clear offensive foul and a legal screen. Maybe it's just me, but looking at social media, ESPN, the mainstream sports network, wherever Iowa's playing, there's tons of fans rooting for them to lose and fall flat on their face. Versus LSU, tons of random LSU fans coming out of the woodwork. Versus UConn, the exact same thing. And the championship game versus South Carolina, I'd imagine the exact same thing. What this all stems from is jealousy. The past players who didn't get the spotlight, never got recognition, are jealous of Caitlin Clark and the spotlight she has. Now here's the thing. When it comes to women's college basketball this year, it's peaked and gone through the roof. Next year, they're not going to be pulling 12 million viewers for an Elite 8 game. At least I don't think so. Maybe 4, 5, even 6 million. But the ratings this year being so absurd is due to one reason. Caitlin Clark and her overall phenomenon. Not putting too much pressure on one player, but the fate of the WNBA rides on her shoulders. In the coming months and years, we'll see how that goes. So that right there is the end of the video.
By Uncut Hoops, the phenomenon Caitlin Clark, she's box office. You see what she did in college, though. I don't think you have to defy her because of she didn't win a championship and stuff. I know beyond understood she won multiple titles. That's the end all, the be all is championships. But great examples. Pistol Pete never won a championship, but he is considered one of the top 3 greatest college basketball players of all time. So Caitlin Clark, what she did at Iowa, after she leaves Iowa for the WNBA, who knows how Iowa's going to be without Caitlin Clark. They're probably not going to be making it to like tournaments and stuff. We don't really know, but it will be a lot different, after Caitlin Clark left. So, essentially, she is media attention and she's getting all the slander from a lot of different people and stuff. But yeah, she's going to do well in the WNBA, in my opinion. The Indiana favor is going to be red hot. Them tickets are going to be selling. The jersey sales is going to be selling. Like, she is going to put asses in seats to watch her play. And hopefully we could, especially that first game against the Aces. Whew, that's going to be a game to watch right there for sure when it comes. So. Like I said, I see some points maybe from some WNBA players, it's levels to, pros in college. But we'll see how Caitlin Clark is going to do in the WNBA. So, but I wouldn't really slander her and say she's not winning the greatest just because she didn't win a championship. Like I said, championship doesn't defy you and stuff. You see what she did. You see all the talent she did. She did carry Iowa to 2 straight championships. Just saying, 2 straight championships. Hard enough to even just get to a championship. But tell me your thoughts down below about Caitlin Clark. Let me know what you're going to react to next. Make sure you subscribe for more content. I'm JP. We'll see you in the next video.